Thank you, Brian, for introducing me to audience. I know a speech from my side was long overdue, and in few seconds, you will know why. Today, I have chosen a topic, an issue that is very common to all of us. I know it is for me, it is very near to me, but not so dear. We all have done that. We are more slightly continue to do that, but it's just a matter of what are we going to do about it, right? What are the steps are we going to take to overcome that? So I want to talk to you about this topic because it is personal to me. I have myself identified that as a problem and something that I am working towards improving. So let me go ahead and quickly do the slide share for this. I don't know if anybody was able to guess, but here it is. Procrastination. We all have done that. We all do it everyday basis. I think I haven't met someone who has not done it. So it's a very common thing, right? And what does the definition of Google say for procrastination? It is act of delaying or postponing something. Very simple. But in life, it's really not that simple. It does not account on the opportunities that we must have missed. It does not account on how incapable we were to manage the time. It does not account for the guilt or self-loathing we go through when we procrastinate and feel like we haven't accomplished something, right? So why am I talking about this? Because for a very long time, I did not think that I had a problem, this problem. I was actually on the opposite spectrum where I thought procrastination, which I did not know I had it, but I was still doing well. And I accounted my success to something which I want to share with you, with all of you. So let me tell you why I did not think this was a problem for me. Back in the school and in college days, when I was a student, I was the student who would do everything at very last minute. There was a paper due on Monday, I would be working on it on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. There was exam, quarterly exams or semester exams. I would only start studying 2 or 3 days before the exam. If there was anything that was like nearing to deadline, I would be working at a very last moment. And I actually enjoyed doing that, right? I was a student back then, didn't have much responsibility. That right amount of stress you get when you're doing it at the last minute, that adrenaline rush, that razor sharp focus that you get when you're doing it, and the energy you have to pull all-nighters before your exam days, right? I used to enjoy that. And the rewards were not that bad either. I never missed the deadlines. I still managed to submit whatever was due. I got good grades. I scored well in the exams. And job-wise also, I was doing decent enough. So I really enjoyed it. And my friends and family, they were not much worried about that either, because I remember my mom saying, I'm not so much worried about Shwetha. She gets her things done. She knows what she's doing. So it gave me an impression, which I thought, I still think maybe that gave a positive impression on me, saying that I work well under pressure, right? So I was always like, it's okay, I can work it out. I always work well under pressure. So I went on with it. Things were okay. I was a student, didn't have much responsibility. That was fine. Early days of job, 9 to 5 job. I would come back, chill again, did not have any more responsibilities. So doing everything at last moment seemed okay. But what changed later on? I got married, there were more responsibilities, I became a mom, I had a more serious job, there was house to run, endless chores. So this mental checklist I had in my mind, it started growing, right? But I did not change my attitude towards handling them. I would always say, I can do it, I've always done it. So I would procrastinate, look for that instant gratification of doing something at that moment and not really handling the actual stuff that I was supposed to handle. Up until 3 years back, when I started noticing this pattern, I started to realize that maybe this is not how I want to be. What were these patterns? I used to have this long mental checklist, and I would be hanging out with my friends and family suddenly I would remember a task, an important task that was due on Monday. I'm here having a good time on weekend, but instead of having good time, I am now thinking about that task that I have not completed, right? I would worry about it and really not being present. But the procrastinator in me would come up and say, no, chill. You have done this many times. You can still manage to do it. Don't worry, just go and relax and have fun. That went on for some time. Slowly, these small actions that I was getting in my mind turned into these episodes of stress-induced breathing, right? Your breathing changes, your heart's beating rapidly, you're worrying about it, and you need to like excuse yourself, go to another room or somewhere and calm down yourself and say to yourself that it's okay, take deep breaths, calm down, relax, you can do it. So slowly these episodes started happening more frequently. And that's when I started realizing that these were just not self-soothing moments where I have to calm myself, but actual panic and anxiety attacks, right? I was having these more and more and more. At one point, when I went to my routine medical check, I told this to my doctor and we got all the tests done, chest x-ray done just to see if I had any problem, like heart problem or something like that. But she deduced that it was all because of stress. And really, the stress was not a stress that you would compare with someone who's having real stress. This was something that I was doing for myself. And I decided I need to change that. So the very logical step was to go over the checklist, checking off things that you want to do. Those things are under your control. I did that and I started feeling better. Okay, so this is not giving me as much stress as I used to have. So this is good. Let me approach it in a more strategic way, right? So I browsed, I understood what procrastination is, and I browsed more strategic way of handling the procrastination. And here are a few tips that are working out for me. Hopefully they'll work out for you as well. This is what I do. I try to reduce decision-making throughout the day, right? Because I feel when I have these smaller, mundane decisions to make in my head, my brain gets exhausted. And at some point, it's going to say, chuck it. I don't care any of it. Just forget what you're doing. Go watch TV on Netflix or go on social media. So this happens when my mind gets exhausted. So I try to reduce the decision-making. So if there are any small, mundane decisions like working out today or on Wednesday, plan it out. You know, you want to work out twice or thrice a week, say these are the days I'm going to work out, so that you don't have to make decision on that very day. Then I want to talk to you about my one big thing. When I go over my list, I always mark one or two things that are my very one big thing. This could be your office work, right? You have an important project to finish. You want to get started on the draft. You go ahead and do that. My next items are my no matter what's, right? I have to go for a walk 30 minutes. That is my no matter what. For you, it could be using some time for meditation or going through your emails at the end of the day, making sure you have completed your inbox. These are your no matter what's, your your non-negotiable, your mandatory list. And then there is everything else. This everything else list tomorrow will become your no matter what. But at least you are prioritizing what you want to get done on that day. Then the next one is start something, anything. It is very self-explanatory and you just have to start doing something. I want to focus on the last one thing here because this is very important. Focus on doing one thing or do nothing. And I did this. My closet cleaning was long overdue. And I decided to implement this step. I'm either going to clean my closet or I'm not going to do anything. After 15 minutes, I ended up cleaning my closet. So please go ahead and implement these steps, but please don't do this thing. Don't procrastinate on procrastination. Thank you, everyone.